Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Draglist Live, where we bench race with the world's top drag racers. My name's Bill Pratt. It's great to be with you tonight. And tonight we're super excited to bring you Alexis DeJoria, one of the most exciting funny car racers on the NHRA Tour. Now, Alexis just raced at Richmond, Virginia yesterday, and she is cranking on her way home to join us. We've been in touch with her lovely PR person, Allison, all day. Allison said Alexis is in, but she's just not going to get home right at 8 o'clock. So she's cranking down the highway right now from the airport to get here to check in with us. So what we're going to do is rearrange the show a little bit. We'll tell you a couple of facts about Alexis, and then a little bit later on, we'll bring John in. And oh my gosh, look at this. Who just joined us? Let's bring her in. Wow.
All right.
Hello, Alexis.
Hey guys.
How's it go? We're just getting started. I was just telling people you're cranking hard to get here. And of
Yes.
course, you set low ET and you're like way quicker than we thought.
Mondays are tough because it's a travel day, and also my flight was delayed an hour. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm glad I was able to make it happen. I know you guys have the show on Monday, so
Oh, thank you
I didn't
so
want to
much.
miss it.
We should have thought about that way back in the day, but thank
It's
you
all
so
good.
much for joining us. So we're just getting things started.
Okay.
Let me toss it to John Bachleman for a moment to tell us our fans how the chat's going to work, and
Okay.
then we'll bring you in and get started.
Awesome. All right.
Well, thanks, y'all. I'm doing great here, and howdy from Houston, everybody. Please join us on the live chat. I'll take notes, and I'll pass your questions and comments along to Bill and Alexis.
Fantastic, John. Thank you, folks. And folks, click the little thumbs up down there, and click the share. Let your friends know we have Alexis DeJoria here live, and we can certainly say that. And so without further ado, let's prove it and bring her in. Alexis, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So glad to have. I've been wanting to talk to you for a long, long time. I've been following you since the alcohol days, and you're
Yes.
one of the top people out there. Let me just start with that because I'm a good friend
Yes, for
of
sure.
the late great Bunny Burkett. She's one of my local
Oh,
homies here in the Mid-Atlantic. And by the way, I was only like maybe 50, 60 miles north of where you were yesterday is where I live. So
okay.
we're local here, but first woman to ever win an NHRA national event was Bunny, but the second person was you. And
Yes.
unbelievable. You guys were really flying, running some deep 540s and of course winning that event. Kind of tell us about those Alki days, and we'll bring it up to the future.
So those days, years that I spent, many years I spent in alcohol funny car were monumental. It really made me the driver that I am today and prepared me for nitro funny car, which I was always told from the people that I really looked up to and respected. You know, the Bob Newberries, the Randy Andersons, and um, Sam Shockley, and
Got Manzo,
Manzo,
you
all
had the
those
whole,
guys. I
yeah.
mean, I raced against Manzo, and I was there when he had his very last run in Pomona. But
Wow.
there was a time there in Florida where Manzo and I were both beating each other back and forth, swapping the record, like the world record. And now, I mean, the cars are going so much quicker and so much
Yeah.
faster. But yeah, those were really important years that I spent in that class, just building, knowledge and experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else. If I had any, any comments to make about anyone coming into to the sport, wanting to drive a nitro funny car, any advice, I'd say definitely drive a nitro funny car. That's the best way because it's the transition's a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. Start
Yeah.
with Alki. Is that your recommendation?
That
Start with
is definitely go to Frank Hawley's drag racing school, get your feet wet. Make sure you even like to sit in a funny car. I know
yeah.
a lot of people, they get out there and they're like, oh, that's so cool. And then they drop the body and they're like, nope, not for
Yeah.
me. But luckily, I loved it just as much on the inside as I did on the outside.
That's amazing. Yeah, people don't realize that. Oh, yeah, I could do that either because they're thinking about they're comfortable sitting in their own car, man. You're not only are you going that fast, but you're like right here, right? You're like,
Yeah, but it's like it's molded to you. We have these special seats that they pour and they're molded to our body. So it's kind of like a little cocoon in there and you get so comfortable. I could take a nap. If there's an oil down and it's not 98 degrees like it was this last weekend
Yeah,
in Virginia, I could sit there for a while and just close my eyes. I mean, I'm so comfortable in that car.
that's awesome. So yeah, I went to Frank's. I guess I was looking through my notes. Of course, we have you every single year. We list every year in the drag list, and I got you in '06 going down to Frank Hawley's. We even
Cool.
list as many Frank cars as we can. So
Oh yeah,
pretty
he's a
cool.
great
So
guy. I learned a lot from him. I did the super gas class. Jack Beckman was teaching there,
wow.
and Jeff Aren too.
Yeah,
Super comp. I went back for the super comp class and did that, and then to Gainesville, Florida for top alcohol. So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I
Well,
spent a lot of serious time with Frank.
sick of that Holly guy by now, right?
No, he's great. He's
He's
tough, but
awesome.
he's like, you got to be. You can't
Yeah,
just let anybody jump in these cars and think that they can do this, because it's not about just going straight. That's
right.
a
Yeah.
yeah,
We
it's a
rarely
huge
do, right?
yeah, it's a
Unless you muscle it
misinterpretation.
in there. Well,
Yeah.
I guess let's go to the very, very beginning. What got you interested in cars, right? Did you always think about drag racing or?
I wanted to be in motorsports. I wanted to drive. I just wasn't quite sure what type of racing I wanted to do.
Hmm.
My dad's a car enthusiast. My mom was a fast driver. I grew up around, car people, not racers, but car people. And my dad raced cannonball races, but nothing
Yeah.
professionally, just fun stuff. So I immediately gravitated towards everybody that was like building hot rods and racing them around in high school. And so I
Right.
just followed that path and um, did a little bit of street racing. I have a 67 Chevelle SS that I've had since I was 17. And I'm never getting rid of that car.
Nice.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun times in it. And I really loved drag racing when I first went to the Pomona race when I was 16. I just really fell in love with it. I'd seen it on TV, but we all know TV
Yeah.
doesn't do it justice. So
Yeah,
being
absolutely.
there in person, I was just floored that was actually like possible, and let alone there's a human being in there at the wheel.
That's amazing. Yeah, you have one of the Springsteen machines from Racing in the Street from the song.
Yeah,
You ever
right.
think about that as you were driving? Never heard that tune.
Yes, I do. Yeah. I love all that classic rock. I'm yeah, I'm definitely a music enthusiast too. My friend oh gosh, Ron Capps and Ron just turned 60 this weekend.
Yeah.
We had a little birthday party for him in the hospitality, but him and I are like the rockers in the group. We always
Cool.
talk about it. Yeah.
He's an awesome guy. I haven't seen him in person since Jesus Maple Grove like 10 years ago, but
He does not look 60. The man
no,
has got really good genes. I don't know what it
yeah.
is. The G-forces, it just
Yeah. It might be the G-force of facial, man. That might be it.
yeah, it's
We'll
like
have to bottle
Botox.
that, man. Call Pops and say, hey, we got a thing. So cool. Well, tell us a little bit about I mean, when you jumped into Nitro, you went in with Khalid and those guys and
I
learned a
did.
lot and did a pretty cool thing, run some low 12s at about 310, which was very competitive back in those days. How did
Hmm.
that transition go when you got started?
It was really good because I got licensed in Dale Worsham and Chuck Worsham's car, their
Mhm.
personal car, and Dale was eventually going to be my crew chief. He just was finishing out, his year. But so actually started at the end of 2011. I ran the Dallas race towards the end of the year, and the last few races with Jim Oberhofer was tuning my
Uh-huh.
car, and he was tuning uh, Doug Colitta's car at the same time. But yeah, it was incredible, and just working with that whole team. I mean, I feel so fortunate to be able to say that I got to race for them. For Connie Colitta, the
Yeah.
greats, one of the
Yeah.
greats. I learned a lot there, and had some great teammates. Jeff Arend, Tel Horsham became my teammate. And after he was tuning my car for a year, Connie was like, "I want you to drive a DHL car," and it was like, all right, well, now the student is going to beat the teacher. And when that
Yeah.
happened, I was really proud. I think Dell wasn't so stoked about it, but I told him, I said, hey, you taught me everything I know, so
Yeah.
you should be proud of me.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, really, really incredible years. And I got to I can say that I was the first female to run a sub 4 second run when I
wow.
was racing with Kalitas. we won 4 races in 2014 when Tommy DeLago and Glenn Hauser were tuning my car.
Yeah.
At the time, we had such a badass car. That the Patron Exo Cafe car, the purple, flat black and purple one, that was a mean machine. I mean, we were just knocking them down. I mean, tons of good runs and won the U.S. Nationals, the 60th anniversary of the U.S. Nationals, which is really important. So
nice, you bet.
that was a good one. I just this is what I've always wanted to do, and I wanted to do it the right way. And me not having any background in racing, how do you do that? From the ground up, from going from sportsman classes. And I made sure that I won in each class before I made the jump to the next class. Because for me, that was enough to tell me that I was ready and making the move. I wasn't trying to, prove myself to anyone else but me, honestly. But I walked away as the only funny car driver that has won in all those categories. So that's another,
right.
Yeah, feather in the cap.
Very, very cool. Well, how do you have a ton of fans, as we can tell, lots of great, but are your fans do you get, you come in pretty tough, right? You got little tats there. You got the black and the purple. Do you get the rockers and the bikers and the,
It's a wide range. Yeah, definitely. From young kids, like girls, boys, moms, husbands, grandpas. It's definitely a well-rounded, very colorful group of people that I can consider my fans. And
right.
it's awesome. It's really awesome.
Not vanilla, but I love it.
No.
Because it's not the 50s here anymore. Although there was lots of cool stuff in the 50s, but
oh, most definitely.
I love it. I love that you're out there making a place for everybody to feel comfortable in it. That's great.
I'd like to say that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Alexis, can we check in with John real quick? We got some folks checking us out on the YouTube channel on chat.
Cool.
And John's kind of like moderate all of our questions and comments and see what it's like.
Well, yeah, Rob McCabe is our head statistician, and he's checking in with us. He says, good evening. I'm just popping in trying to get what I could get in today with the heat, and it's going to get hotter tomorrow. And I told him, well, Rob, I'm not exactly freezing to death here in Houston, And he said, welcome, Alexis. And he said, Alexis is great. Ever since I was chatting with her at Englishtown on a Saturday in 2010 after one of the team photo promos with her top alcohol funny car.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Red checked in with us. And he says, hi, everyone. I believe Jack's in Maryland, isn't he?
Yeah, Jack's right up the road here.
And Rich Panacaro in New Jersey says, good evening. And we haven't got out west yet, but we usually go coast to coast.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give it a few minutes, and our friends out on the West Coast will check in with us.
I do miss racing out in Englishtown. It was a beautiful place. It's a little tumultuous. I've talked to Manzo about it, and we're convinced that it was built on an Indian burial ground or something because there was just too much crazy shit, the stuff that's happened at that racetrack.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I do miss it. I do miss racing out there.
Yeah, Englishtown was awesome. I was going there from like the 80s on. We did a lot of the early pro mod stuff, and of course, lots of funny car stuff.
Yeah. I got to go to the finals there, but I never got to win a race there before they shut it down.
Well, we'll do something somewhere where we'll make up for it.
Yeah.
You were up, but how about Maple Grove? That's pretty close. So I was looking at
Maple Grove is amazing. Yeah, we went to the semifinals there last year, a pedal fest against Jack Beckman, just by a hair, but bettered my personal best speed at 337 miles an hour at 3.84 seconds. I love that race as well, and a beautiful racetrack, great people.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And Epping has been the scene of some of your best performances. I mean, those low sea level eastern tracks are doing good for you.
And we managed to get it all done throughout all the rain and everything. So I hear it's supposed to rain all weekend long in Norwalk. So hopefully that's not the case. It changes from time to time, but we've had a few days there in the last couple of races where it's just a ton of rain,
Yeah.
but we managed to get it all done. So
They're pretty good at putting these races on. If they can do it, they'll get it done. Though.
yes. Oh, well, they'll wait. They'll wait to the very last minute.
Yeah, that's my jam there. I'm from Cleveland originally, so I've
Oh,
spent
nice.
some time out there and
Rock and
spent
Roll
some,
Hall of Fame.
yeah,
Yeah.
was there when they built it and been there a couple times, took my kids. And
Nice.
yeah, all those industrial flats that you have to pass to get there, that's where I lived when I was
Okay.
as a kid.
Yeah, I got to do the tour of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Jimi Hendrix is one of my favorite musicians, and they had this whole section that was all on him and his like family couch that he grew up on, and all his drawings when he was a kid, and he was a paratrooper, and it's just really cool. And you're not supposed to touch any of it, right? But it's all like it's just like this velvet rope, and it's just like I felt like a little kid. I just want to just touch his jacket. Like I just want it's right there.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's a great era to grow up in, man. I know John's a musician. I don't know if you know, he just played a gig this weekend. He's
What's he play?
I played down in Kemah, and I didn't know what the event was all about, but it was the first time that I'd played with the band that I'd been in for 16 years in 2 years. And it was great to see everybody. I've been playing with another band since then. But
what do you play? What instrument?
I played the keyboards in that band, and we do soul hits from the 50s and 60s, old time rock and roll and blues.
That's my dad's music. Yeah, he was born in 1944, so with my dad, I grew up on all like the 50s and 60s. My mom was more 70s and 80s. But yeah, I have a love for music.
John's being pretty modest because he's also a bitchin' guitarist. He can play everything. He's literally done albums where he's played everything.
Wow, so, that's impressive.
Yeah,
all of my recordings were done in a studio, and I played all the instruments, and wrote all the songs, did all the vocals. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. I thought about sending it to a record company. I see where these guys are selling their material for $1 million.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, hey, maybe, somebody would be interested in these songs. They're good songs.
It's worth a shot. You don't know until you know. You got to try it.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Exactly.
Gotta send Alexa for lifetime CD, man.
I'd love to hear it.
Anyway, good stuff. Well, let's talk about the thank you, John, and thank you guys and gals out on the chat. Holler at us and come up with some cool questions, which John will Alexis and Draglist approve to make sure that we get the good stuff up here. But so talk about the big shift to JCM Racing this last year. That was a heck of a jump.
And it was last minute. Yes, Dell and I had been racing together for so long, and the last year and a half just was we were just plagued by one thing after another, parts failure, and we just had the worst luck. I mean, in the first 7 races this season, we've done better than I did all last year. Like I've already, gotten more round wins and just more consistency. And so we were fighting equipment, and also we were working with like a skeleton crew, lost some guys and just how things happened. And so guys were overworked, everybody's stressed out, we're all bummed out, depressed because we're not winning. And it takes a toll on you. Adele's been racing forever. So he's like, I just need to pump the brakes. And he's like, I know you don't want to take a break. He goes, I know your goal is to win a championship. And to do that, you have to be competitive and run all the races. And he's like, I totally support you, whatever you want to do. He's like, I'll help you talk to another team. And so there was a month there where I wasn't sure if I was going to be continuing like racing with Dell, if I was going to be racing at all, or what team I was going to be racing with and with what. And so that was a big deal. And then I was fighting not personally fighting, but dealing with the fires in California where my parents' house is out in Malibu.
my.
So I got evacuated twice there with my brother. So that and all that going on the races, and
Right.
finally, talked to Joe Maynard and set up a deal with him. In a matter of 2 months, they got that car ready to go. And
Wow.
hey, first race out, we had one car, one body, one car, and we went to the semifinals.
Yeah.
We kicked ass. We did so good. And the team's incredible. Like, those guys get along so well, the camaraderie, like everybody's on the same page and they're so motivated, and it's really good. It's really, really good.
That's
Yeah, I like
awesome.
working with them.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, we were talking to Mike Lewis a couple of weeks ago, and
Nice.
maybe a month ago or so, and he was filling us in on everything. It sounds awesome. And I've seen you like going deep, deep, deep. And I think it was, what was it? Bristol, right? Or no, sorry. One of the most recent, I think you went to the semis and like almost got into the finals, or did you make it into the
Yeah, I went to the finals at the four wide in
four
Charlotte.
wide? Got it.
I've been to a couple semis. Yeah, we qualified number 2 in Bristol just to go out first round. we
No.
But we've been doing really well, and just kind of chipping away at it, not
Yeah,
getting over center. And um, Mike Neff and Todd Smith are very conservative with the way that they run the car, and they want to just, they don't want to do the wrong thing and
right.
overpower the track. So we've got a lot more on the table. There's a
Yeah,
lot left on the table.
right. Well, it's a crazy thing when I've been following the sport for 50 years now, at least, if I do my math right. Yeah, a little longer. And the crazy thing is you guys are in the field classes, both of them are tighter than the
Yeah.
old pro stock fields used to be. I mean,
Really?
everybody can run 380s, except for the 13, 14, 15 guys that, they might have some 390, 40 power
Yeah.
that come out once or twice a year, but everybody else, you're 337, you're running 384s. I mean, the quickest ever is a 379, right? Everybody
Yeah.
is right there. So it's really
340
just
or
down to,
341, 379. I think that's Austin Prock
yeah,
and
yeah,
Bob Tasca. They both ran those
yeah,
kind of numbers. But yeah, I mean, consistently, you want to be a 380 car.
yeah.
And we're getting there. We're building. We have a lot more room on the table. We're not hurting parts right now. So I really like the way that they've gone about, tuning it. It's been really good.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean,
Yeah.
and then there's certain days that nobody's going to run a 380 like yesterday. That's just
Oh, well, yeah. You're not trying to run a 380 on that track, 140-degree racetrack. Yeah, it
yeah.
was pretty brutal. It was brutal.
Those engines don't like all that heat either. I know.
No, the drivers don't either, or the crew chiefs, the fans. I don't know how they do it, sitting up in
Uh,
there in the stands, just
I'm amazed.
melting.
Yeah, I'm absolutely amazed at those people. I didn't really see the shots of the crowd, but I was wilting here at home. I had to stay in and do some work, and it was just crazy. Well, so it's great to hear that, we were talking about the transition. I did want to compare it to like the Kalita and Worsham teams, which you already covered that. Talked about your amazing Alki win. So
Yes.
so what is the how's things going with the NHRA generally? Is that, you're pretty happy with how things are moving along? Or
Yeah. I don't know. There was something that just happened recently. Yesterday, Sean Langdon's run got um it was under review, and they finally, said that his run didn't count in the
oh
finals. So
no,
they took his win away and gave it to the runner-up, Justin Ashley.
I hadn't heard
For
that.
some bolts that weren't in the cover, the clutch cover, the housing. It was just odd. I was like, wow, really? And I don't know. I'm not a crew chief. I'm not, a tech person, but it just seemed a little ridiculous to me, but whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like, Langdon ran a ton better than Justin Ashley did. I mean, he wasn't
yeah,
out there running, 370s or like,
right. Yeah, I'm lost on that. I mean, if there
Yeah,
is it, I don't know. I
I don't
didn't read
know.
up on that. I watched Bobby Bennett was kind of keeping us up to date when I would peek away from my other work, and then I got
Yeah.
busy doing day job work and didn't follow up on it. But I'm sorry to hear that. I hate to see that anytime. I hate to
Oh, definitely.
especially when it's just a little tiny thing. But
right, a few bolts on a thing, and I don't think it was a performance issue, but I don't know. You go in the comments and people are like, "Oh, I ran a better number when I left some out," and
yeah, come on.
I don't know, but whatever the case is, it was a bummer. I know the guys on that team. Obviously, I raced with those guys, and so you never want to see that taken away from them.
Right.
So.
Well, let's go back to Alexis. As you look at the rest of 2025, kind of what are your goals? What's the goalpost for you? Is it all the way
To
to
win
the
a
championship?
race, first of all.
Mhm.
Definitely want to win a race.
Mhm.
First things first. We got to get a win.
Got it. And so just, top 10 for sure, but you're already there, right?
Yeah.
Got the big number 9, I think, as of yesterday. And
yep, right now. So now's the time. We got to start getting hot and going rounds and getting more points and get that first win. It's been a minute.
Yeah, well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
What were some of the what are some of your favorite times at the track? Either alky or obviously the alcohol win is giant, but
the winning in Seattle at the Northwest Nationals, that was huge because that's what I was waiting for. I had been to so many finals, national event finals. I had won some divisional races, and I just was waiting to win that national event before I made the move to Nitro Funny Car. That's all it was holding me up. I was, and it was a tough car, it's a tough class, very competitive, very tough, but so fun. I mean, swapping feet, hitting the gears, and just I love that class. I absolutely love that class. But yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And people like, I know Bunny Burkett, who really paved the way for women like me and to the sport. And she was so supportive too. She was there at every race going, okay, come on, this is your time. It's going to happen. And yeah, God bless her. I miss her. She's a sweetheart. Yeah.
Remember back in the Pro Mod days, Carolyn Melendi, if you know who that is, she's out of New Jersey. She was one of the original Pro Mods. And one gal, they called her Goldilocks among all these bears, and
nice.
Animal Jim Foyer and, Rob Vandergriff and all those, Bill Coolman and that gang.
Yeah.
And she's had this beautiful, like pink and yellow Camaro that she would race, but she was tough. She was like over 200 faster than most of them, but she had a bad day. One day down here at Budds Creek where I used to announce, and Bunny just took her, come on, baby, come on, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Never let them see you sweat.
That's right. She was terrific. Well, let's see. It's 8:30 on the East Coast here. Let's go to John. John, anybody else have a thought from Alexis?
Yeah, we've had a few comments and they're pretty cool. Dragster Jeff Kreider says, I love that Bandero Tequila. He says, I'm waving my hand from Bakersfield.
Nice. It's really good. It is. I actually prefer it to Patron Silver, and Patron's always going to be, my father's baby. But the Bandero Blanco is incredible. It's about the same price. And then we also have the Bandero Cafe, which is a coffee tequila. And that's really incredible. Chilled over ice, a little bit of milk. So good.
Without giving too much away, I know a guy sitting close to me right now had some coffee infused rye whiskey last time.
Oh, wow.
Definitely going to try that. That sounds pretty amazing. Is Bandero the family brand as well?
It's my father has his partner with Rocket. It's like under the Rocket umbrella. It's one of their Rocket drinks. And I have like 2% ownership. My sister has 2% ownership.
Gotcha. Well, cool. Bandero.
That's awesome.
Bandero. I love it.
Get all the free tequila.
Yeah, there you go.
Forever.
You get the good stuff too. People. I know a friend who was whose father-in-law was like a politician in California. And so this guy married his daughter. Is a good, white guy from the East Coast. Awesome. One of my best friends. But he goes out there and he goes, okay, says, what do you know about tequila? When he told him, he probably mentioned some of the 2 or 3 top brands. he goes, all right, Gringo, get in here. So he took him in his library and he had all these amazing, amazing tequilas.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure you guys probably have like just a.
Well, I don't, because every time we open a bottle, it's gone in my house. But my dad has quite the bar set up. He's got all these collectible or collector bottles of Patron, like every style, and he's get people bring him tequilas to try, and yeah, he's got quite the collection.
That's
Yeah,
me. Yeah,
mine does not compare, obviously.
I do not make it to the collector status myself.
Yeah.
I collect empty bottles sometimes, what it's like. I'm oversharing here, I guess. So yeah.
No, it's fine. Hey, we're all adults here.
John, what else we got out there, bud?
Well, y'all were talking about the bolts. There was something to do with the bolts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And dragster Jeff Kreider said the bolts were in the belly pan, and he came back later and he said no performance advantage, but safety first.
Yes,
Oh.
I understand that, but to take the win away, I mean, fine them if you got to do something, fine them. Maybe take some points away, but to take the win away, I think that was a bit aggressive. That was a bit too much.
Got it. Yeah, I guess so. It's a safety deal, not a performance enhancing deal. Because I was wondering that too. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, on we go. I'm glad I don't have to make those calls. Good enough.
Yeah, right. Oh God.
John, anyone else with a thought?
Well, Rich Panicaro in New Jersey said that Alexis is very down to earth, and I agree with that. And actually, Alexis, I've always looked up to you. I think you're one of the very best that there is in the sport of drag racing, and we are so proud to have you with us here tonight.
Oh God, I appreciate that so much. Thank you, guys.
And I just knew you'd be down to earth. I don't know why, but I'm super glad to meet you.
I get a lot of people have these preconceived notions of, I don't know, I'm some kind of socialite heiress that should be sitting on a beach somewhere sipping cocktails.
Yeah.
Where's the fun in that?
Denigrate that now. That sounds pretty good.
No, that's not a bad thing, but I wouldn't make a profession out of it. No.
Yeah, gotcha. Well,
I love drag racing.
What are some of your favorite opponents out there? Do you have anybody that you like to race or you like to especially beat?
So I jinxed myself because I love racing against Ron Capps. Ron's my buddy. We've been in the finals together, and I made a comment after our Charlotte the 4-wide finals, and obviously we didn't win. It was me, Hagen, Ron, and Austin Prock, and Austin won it. But I made a comment to Ron. I said, "Oh, I really like racing you in the finals. We should do this more often." I swear to God, the next 3 races after that race, I had him first round.
Wow.
And I'm like, he beat us, but it was just like, oh my God, what did I do? Why did I say that? The finals, not first round, Ron. The finals. I want to see you.
Be careful what you throw out to the universe.
Yeah, really. I spoke it into existence. I really like racing you. Oh, here you go.
Yeah, fatal decide the round, I guess.
Yeah. Pauline, we raced first round at the last race. I lost traction, and that track at 140 degrees, the track surface is very level. It's very flat. It's amazing. But at 140 degrees in a funny car, you're going down there, and I made a little bit bigger of adjustment than I should have. And, it wagged the tail and got the car unhappy and got it out of the groove. So that was driver error completely. But most tracks you get away with that. But at tracks like that, it's just, it's not, you're not going to, you just can't do it. So lesson learned, and, you just move on, but we've got plenty of races left.
I hope we'll take about 10 degrees at least off the temps for Norwalk, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
So that would be blazing for up that way.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I've been in Norwalk when it's really hot, but not like that. That's brutal.
My house can't even keep up with the AC, man. I'm looking at 85 degrees sitting here, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm in my family's home here in Rhode Island, and it was finished in 1889. It has really good insulation. but you know, there's no air conditioning in here, so we got the windows all open, and yeah, I
So
got the
basically,
fan
shut
right
up, Bill,
next to
quit
my
whining.
bed, like, you know, blasting me in the face.
Well, that's all. I'm glad you're in Rhode Island. I was about to ask at one point, where are you? And
Yeah, I love
is
it
that
out
where your
here.
home base is now?
Yeah, I try to spend at least half the year here. When, you know, it comes summertime in Texas, it's the last place you want to be.
How about that
uh,
genre?
it's brutal. It's really brutal. We've had some really crazy storms there lately too. Hail and just insane, you
Yeah,
know.
seen some of the weather
Yeah.
getting wild.
So it's been nice coming back to the East Coast after races. I really enjoy it. Plus, my mother's half side of the family is here. My grandmother, who just turned 97, and
Oh, bless her heart.
so yeah, she's incredible. She loves the races. She watches every race on TV. And when she could, she would come to every race. She went to Englishtown, Epping, New Hampshire. Like,
Hmm.
she loved it.
That's awesome. Oh man, that's fantastic. Well, tell us let's change subjects a little bit. Tell us about any crazy road stories you can think of. Anything weird happen at the track or on the
Uh,
way?
yes, I've had stalkers at the
Oh wow.
racetrack. I had one of them try to kidnap me, which was really
Oh
crazy.
my gosh.
Oh yeah, I was racing with Kalitas, and it was in Pomona. It was like a qualifying day. You know, I come in early. I'm walking through the hospitality, and all the girls are there that run the hospitality tent. And there's a guy sitting at one of the tables. He's dressed in all white, like a painter, right?
Hmm.
And I didn't know who he was. You never know who's in our
Yeah.
in our hospitality. It could be like Patron people. It could be you just never know. So I walk past him and I go into my lounge, which is through one of it's the rig that carries all the hospitality gear
Yeah.
and whatnot. So I walk up into my lounge. Apparently, he got up and followed me, went behind me,
Wow.
and the girls thought he was with me. I
Wow.
thought he was with them.
Right.
So I put my bag down. I turn around and he's standing in the doorway blocking me. And he's just
Wow.
standing there staring at me. And he hands me a card, like a birthday card kind of looking thing. And I was like, okay. And I was like, hi. It was just very odd. And open up the card. And when I read the words, I instantly knew, okay, I've got to keep my composure. I don't know if this guy's got a knife or what his next move is going to be. So I got to play it really safe. But it basically said that God told me we were going to be together. Isabella, who's my daughter, is going to be the best stepdaughter,
Oh my
and
goodness.
all this stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I slowly closed the card, and I said to him, I go, wow, I go, thank you. That's really nice. Thank you very much. I have to go to an autograph signing right now. So I'll be back, you know, just trying to get out of there.
Right.
So he moved and I left. And as I walked out, I told the girls, I was like, hey, that guy's no good. Get him out of here. He's a stalker.
Right.
He's crazy. Like, you know, oh, we thought he was with you. I'm like, oh my God. So I asked one of my friends, her husband did security work and he was at the track. They got there early and I said, hey, will you come with me to the autograph session? It was over
Right.
at the Derby room there
Okay.
in Pomona. So it's like this little, it's connected to the track. It's like a little uh, restaurant kind of place, whatever. But I was doing autographs over there. So he followed me over there and he stood outside, my friend's husband. And I gave him, he saw the guy. So he had a full
Yeah.
description. And while I was in there, a white van was slowly making passes in front of the doorway. And it
Oh
was
my
that guy
God.
driving plus another guy in the front
Oh my
seat.
gosh.
They were waiting for me to come out and they were going to snatch me up and put me in the van. Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
So he saw them and he's a big guy. He was like 6'5", you know, tattooed, just looked, you know, angry biker. And
Right.
he like ran up to the van and like they took off. But I never saw the guy again. I have no idea. Who knows? Hopefully the universe handled that
Yeah.
situation because, you know, I didn't know where he went. And I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, there weren't any video cameras back then,
Right.
like, you know, picking everything up around the
Right.
track. So, but really crazy. And I've had other people think that, you know, my conversations and me being nice is, oh, we've got a connection, you know, and you must like me.
Well, you know,
it's really, you know,
women get that a lot anyway from certain guys, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, but some are crazier than others, you know. And then now with social media, you've got all these fake accounts that are reaching out to people, your fans or people that you follow, pretending that they're you.
Right.
And all you have to do is look at the grammar. How long you've been friend? Like,
look at the number of
why
followers.
would I talk like that? How long you been friend? Like, come on. And then they start asking them for money or saying all these weird things. And then I got people coming up to me going, hey, we've been chatting on TikTok. I'm like, no, it's not me. I promise you it's not me. And I'm so sorry. Like, if it doesn't have a blue check mark next to it, it's not me. And plus, look at the followers.
They're kind of going for like a thirst trap thing. Cause I've seen I've seen Jasmine Salinas. There's got to be freaking 8 Brittany sites. Brittany Force, a couple of, some of the other, and they're all the women racers, right?
Yeah. So, I catch them pretty quick. And then my friends will be like, hey, here's another account that's impersonating you.
Right.
And, I pretty much stay on top of it, but you just never know that every ticket is a pit pass deal with NHRA. It's a double-edged sword because it's really great that we have that ability to communicate and connect with our fans in that way. Right. But also it's a little scary because some of the bad ones, bad seeds have that access to you as well.
Yeah, it is scary. I'm glad that your friend's husband was there. Yeah, because I'm thinking as you bring this up, and I really hadn't thought about it before, but I mean, we got security, right, at the great, but you don't have that kind of security. You don't have like Rihanna security, like someone like you. I hate to say it, probably needs somebody, kind of looking out for you as you walk around, like some of the other stars that are out there in the music biz and stuff.
Especially in Pomona. Pomona gets crazy.
Is it?
It's one of my old home races, and it's always packed, and it gets a little chaotic. So that's definitely a race that I would say, we need extra hands out here, extra eyes on the crowd.
Well, look out for one another out there, guys.
Yes.
And it's crazy stuff. Well, what about any quirks that happen on the track, maybe, or on your, you ever have any wins in the palm of your hand and something crazy? I mean, I guess we just had the one.
Oh yeah, where the manifold bolts were loose and we lost boost, and then the car goes right beside you when you've cut the greatest light. Yeah. And you're totally winning. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoop, damn. Yeah. Oh, brutal.
I hate to laugh, but I mean, what are you going to do? Laugh instead?
Hey, I've learned over the years, I'm not going to, make a big fuss out of things that are out of my hands. You know what I mean? I can't, if it was something I directly did, then I'll beat myself up to the bare bone. But I mean, I don't point fingers. I don't MF my team. I don't throw them under the bus. I'm not like that. And if I do something, then I'll own up to it, right away. Yeah.
We have
and I think that's important because if you don't have that acknowledgement, if you don't take accountability, then how are you going to learn and move forward?
Right.
And it's really important to have the communication level with your crew chiefs. Because the computer doesn't lie. You go in there and be like, I didn't do that. Really? This says different.
That's something we can't get away with anymore, right? If anybody,
no, I never tried to, but I mean, if anything, I'll be like, was that me? No? Okay, good. But
well, do you let's check in with John one more time with the guys and gals out there, and then we'll ask you for a couple shout outs to your sponsors and friends, and then
awesome,
get you on your way. John, anybody out there with another thought?
Well, our outspoken friend Rich Panicaro in New Jersey said that the NHRA is turned into NASCAR. He said too many stupid rules.
Yeah.
And we're all in complete agreement with Rich on that.
It's tough. There's been a lot more issues with them checking things like you know, people having things on their car that don't fit specs, and
Yeah.
you know, it just yeah. So at this last race after the runs, they were checking all the headers, the header heights, and
Yeah.
you know, and all
Checking
that.
the sweep. Did the Top Fuel guys ever try to sweep them back a bit like Height did a couple years ago with
Oh, we all did that. There was a
or,
time where we all had those laid back
yeah.
headers. Yeah, that was hardcore. That was that was serious. When you lost traction and you're trying to pedal that car, that was a beast, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't have that anymore. They're somewhere in the middle, you know, now.
Got it.
But yeah, they were measuring everybody's headers and you know, doing all that, and so
Wow.
yeah, it's a job I'm glad I don't have.
Something to do. Yeah, me neither.
You don't make a
Jeez.
lot of
Well,
friends.
from what I understand, the laid back headers cause the car to kind of skate around. I don't know if you had that problem, but I remember Matt Hagan saying when he hit the gas, the car pretty much had a
Yeah.
mind of its own.
Yeah, there are times definitely where it was a little bit hard to handle. And these cars are hard to handle anyway. I mean, they
Yeah.
don't want to go straight. It's trying to do everything not to. So it's yeah, it's yeah.
Well, it sure did make them go fast.
Exactly. Yeah, it
We're
did.
back there. You can't stop racers and tuners for long.
All right. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Faster, and
Good times.
we're 200s quicker than we were at the time. So what else you got, John? Any final thoughts?
Well, I thought I'd ask you, and I know this might be a sensitive subject, but you had mentioned that you'd been stalked and an attempted kidnapping.
Yeah.
Do you think that the guy might have wanted ransom or something like that?
I have no idea. I don't think it was a ransom thing. I think he was sick in the head, obviously, if he's talking about how God was, you know, telling him that I was going to be his wife and my daughter would be his best stepdaughter. And it was just, yeah, it was insanity, complete insanity.
Well, we're caught up for the moment on the chat board, and I personally was stalked a few times, and
oh gosh,
and it's a creepy, because you get up on I'm on stage playing
yeah,
music, and so you become a target up there.
yes,
And I was able to deal with it okay. It was an ex-girlfriend, and
oh my
finally,
goodness.
she went away.
Good. Yeah,
Thank
that's
goodness.
scary. Whenever you put yourself out there, it's kind of comes with the territory, you know.
That's right. When you're
More
in the
eyes
spotlight.
on you, and yeah.
Well,
we're caught up on the chat.
Through.
We're caught up for the moment, y'all.
Thank you, John. Appreciate
Very cool.
it,
Thank you, John.
And so let's talk about while we got you here, any shout outs to sponsors or other folks
Yes.
that help you? And it's
Bandero.
quite a long list, no doubt.
Bandero Premium Tequila, Rocket. I'm a free agent right now. I was racing for Toyota since the very beginning. This is our last year with NHRA.
Right. That's
but when I left, when Dell and I parted ways, their deal was more with Dell, and with the thing with JCM, they race Dodge. Right. So that would have been conflicting, but I haven't gotten picked up by Dodge yet. I just started, but I am running a Dodge body, which is really cool. JFR chassis. I want to give a shout out to Joe Maynard and his lovely wife PJ. Great people. Yeah, very, very blessed to be a part of this team.
It's awesome, and you guys are tearing it. I can't say you guys are tearing it. I'm old, so I use that for everybody.
I say it too. Don't worry.
Ladies are tearing it.
I'm not offended by that at all.
But again, with you and Ida out there tearing it up, it'd be awesome. I would love to see like a same event.
Oh, it'd be so great to get us both to be in the finals. That's my ultimate dream right now. I was like, if we could both make it to the finals on the same day, that'd be awesome.
Well, it's going to happen. Tell the universe right now, it's going to happen.
Yes, exactly. Just like I told Ron, I like racing you in the finals. We should do this more often.
Let's blame it on Caps. It's him.
Yeah, that guy's got some good luck, man. He's definitely put in a lot of work over the years.
Yeah. Good luck's when opportunity meets preparation, right?
Yes, exactly.
He's cranking it. Well, Alexis, where can folks find you on the internet if they want to follow along? Respectfully, not.
Oh, well, my website, alexisdejoriaracing.com. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I have my personal page that I run myself, and then I have my racing account that is ADR, Alexis
Okay,
DeJoria Racing. I'm on Facebook. It's all just my name, basic,
cool.
easy.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it's been such a pleasure visiting with you tonight. I've really looked forward to this for a long time, and you've been a delight. A lot of
Thank you.
fun, great hanging out. Thank you for
Thank you
sitting
guys.
OET to get here after so many obstacles thrown in your way.
Oh
Really
yeah,
appreciate it.
I was determined. Thank you guys. I really appreciate talking to you guys, and thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Alexis DeJoria. All the best, my friend, and we'll see you somewhere
Thank
down the
you.
road.
All right. Have a good
Well,
night. Bye.
all right, man, delightful. Let's say farewell to Alexis and turn it over to John for this week's JB's Take and the Racer of the Week. John, go for it, my friend.
Okay, man. I'm unmuted.
You are indeed.
Thanks, Bill. My pick for Racer of the Week is a tribute to the great August Hans Hartkopf. Seeing Augie race in the early 60s was an inspiration to my life, and I'm proud to feature him tonight. This was mostly from an article by the Highland Lakes Timing Association. It's a story about one of Texas's drag racing legends who passed away on April the 15th, 1967. He could be considered the most famous drag racer in Austin, Texas, and he was also known very well across the state in the early days of the Texas drag racing sport. It was said that there is an article about Hans at the Garlitz Museum, and while not verified, he may have worked as a crewman for Big Daddy. The famous 56 Chevy known as the Little White Racer had a 265 small block. The car you'd mostly see him standing by in the pictures. The man back then was truly known for the buildup of 10,000 RPM redline Chevy small blocks. And being that they were the early years of the drag racing sport in Texas, people were always amazed at the screaming motor coming out of this car. I was privileged to see this car run in the early 60s, and I, along with the whole crowd, saw Augie run well below the national record on every pass he made. He never failed tech inspection, which was the removal of one cylinder head. The story was once told that while the cylinder head removed appeared to be all class spec internals, it was the other side of the engine that had tricked out stuff to make it all work. He was known truly as a mechanical genius. One article in Hot Rod magazine listed that he held the NHRA C stock record set at the Houston drag strip on April 17, 1960. It was a 13:23 at 100 miles an hour. The name Hans, as people say, was from seeing the amazing size of his hands and the amazing grip strength he had that possibly developed after a childhood accident that caused him the Andre the Giant type syndrome. It was said you could drop a 50-cent coin through his ring, and even at times he was seen to lift heavy engine parts single-handed. To many spectators and racers, his presence at any racetrack was truly an experience just being around him. He was once seen picking up a battery with one hand and holding it like a football. He set up a go-kart strip next to his shop for the kids to ride around. A print of his hand was created into the cement sidewalk by the shop and remained there until the late 90s when the building was torn down. Close friends of Augie made a cast mold of his hand and put it on display at Manny's Automotive. He was an original member of the Highland Lakes Timing Association, and he, along with several street racers, helped get drag racers organized and racing legally in Texas. Augie's story is a classic drag racing life, and his hot rod was a true American classic. I never forgot his outstanding performance with that small block Chevy. There was never another quite like August Hans Hartkopf, the gentle giant. Everybody stay safe and well. You are the most important part of this show, and we love you all. It's a great way to spend an hour together on a Monday night. And we'll see y'all next time. God bless America. Back to you, Bill.
Thank you, John. Awesome, awesome stuff, man. That's a man's man right there. Woo. It's like big bad John, didn't they?
Yes, he was truly an incredible person, and he died young, but he got a lot accomplished in his 36 years.
Oh my goodness, super young. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing and great stuff. Well, great legends. Too bad, man. 36. Yikes. Let's move on. So, a special notice, we've been talking about this for a couple weeks. Facebook videos will be deleted by July 7th, but I'm glad to report that my friend Sharon, who is working with me on some amazing artificial intelligence programs, worked with me one night to move all of our files to my computer. So we have them all. Step one is done. All of the Draglist live that was on Facebook is now on my computer right here. And now we're going to undertake moving them all up to YouTube. So that's very cool. Let's talk about some upcoming guests. Thanks to Miss K. Next Monday night, Gage Herrera, the NHRA World Champion motorcycle rider, a reigning champ, is going to be joining us. Really looking forward to talking to Gage. And then going into July, keeping with the pro stock bikes, motorcycle racer Chris Bostic is going to join us on the 7th. On the 14th of July, Ida Zetterstrom, Alexis's teammate and former European Top Fuel champ, is going to be joining us. So that's exciting. On the 21st, the Quadra Boys, those three hombres from Mexico who all race NHRA Pro Stock, they're going to be joining us. And that'll be a crazy show. I don't know how we'll keep that one straight, but we're going to have a heck of a good time. I might have to get some of that Bandero before we do that and have a few drinks. I'm prepped for it. And in August, Miss K is filling out. We're looking for some for July 28th, also August 4th, 11th, and the 25th. But we do have the famous Jim Brewer, the legendary Peacemaker wheel standard driver from Cleveland, Ohio. This guy is a legend. He has driven just about anything you can imagine as a wheel stander. It's probably he used to ride Cadillac wheel standers, all kinds of stuff. A Star Wars wheel standard that looked like, kind of like a Death Star. And then finally, he's racing it to this day, a really highly modified 33 Willys, all of them under the Peacemaker name, except for some of those crazy Star Wars based cars. But anyway, Jim Brewer, just a great guy. Looking forward to having him on, coming up on August 18th. And then, we're into September, into October, into December. We're not talking about that yet. First, we're going to enjoy the summer. But anyway, lots of good stuff coming up. Thanks to Miss K, who was out there again this weekend, putting up live stuff from the track, taking some of John's great posters, spinning them up with all kinds of psychedelic stuff and making them animated. And I'm putting them up there on reels and stuff. So we appreciate our friend Kay for taking care of us. We do have on those we lost, our lost friends, we have one named report, and this just came in today. And it came in from Bob Bilbo and Bill Klein, two of the great guys that we follow along here on the East Coast nostalgia scene. But they reported that Mike, also known as Mr. 409, Buddy 4 Bars, has passed away. Now, I don't have Mike's last name. Perhaps we'll get that. I wasn't able to get that by the time the show came on. But they said Mike was one of the most easygoing, fun, likable, true friends out there. Everyone will miss him, and he had a great sense of dry humor. A lot of junkyards, flea markets, and will probably close before because Mike is no longer with us. Mike's ashes will forever travel with the Bill Klein and Bob Bilbo, Bilbo Racing Dragster, the Nitro cackler that we get to see on the East Coast quite often. And it will be in a vintage Moon fuel tank per his request. So Buddy, aka Mike, aka Mr. 409, aka 4 Bars, will never be without that team. And so we'll go by and pat the tank as we go by and remember our friend Mike. with that, ready to do a wrap. John, any final thoughts from you, sir, on our show?
Well, it was just absolutely fantastic to have Alexis DeJoria join us tonight. You know, she jumped off that plane and raced home. I know she's tired, but you know, she gave us 100% terrific interview, and she's just a terrific person. And I know we wish her the best coming up. I know she's going to be in the countdown. I have no doubt about that. She'll be there, and we'll be rooting for her.
Heck yeah. I love she was amazing. I always imagine what it would be like. I never met her. I've met many other racers, but never did get that opportunity. And I just had a picture in my mind, and she's exactly as I pictured her. Just really,
Yes,
really cool. A
yes,
really
she is.
cool chick, you know. She's
Yeah.
fantastic. So and I think she's the kind of person where that wouldn't bother her. So anyway, I want to thank Alexis for coming on. And also, I want to really let me give a shout out to Allison McCormick, who is the PR lead for JCM Motorsports, who really was instrumental in getting us Mike Lewis, getting us Alexis, getting us Ida Zetterstrom. And as you know, Ida had her New York trip. So Allison's been right there with us, you know, every step of the way, making sure that everything went as smooth as possible, was in constant contact with me tonight as we rolled up to the show. And indeed, we didn't think we would be able to get Alexis on until about 8:20 or 8:30. So man, she literally said low ET. We didn't really even have to adjust the show at all. We were going to do a few things out of order, but we didn't have to. But anyway, thank you to Allison McCormick. You're amazing. Of course, thanks to John Balkman, my brother from another mother, Kay Turkelson, who's just taking great care of us, Rob McCabe, who's the list master, filling out that list, Melba Shore doing an amazing job with the 50s on forward, Ron Toombs doing amazing edits all over, and John Mernon the second, I misspoke his name briefly, but he's been going out there grabbing all those great photographs that the greatest photographers in drag racing have authorized us to use, and he's putting them on those drag lists, and it's just amazing. Of course, thanks up in heaven to our buddy Danny White, who did this work and is our partner forever and ever. Thanks to Jeff Gilder of Zeus Digital Marketing and Racers Reunion and Wingding Media. And once more, click the like, click the little thumbs up down there, click the share to let your friends know we have this had Alexis on tonight, even if you're watching the recording. You know, share it around, folks, and click that little box down there where it says Draglist. That will let you subscribe to our channel. And there's some kind of bell on there that you can click, and it'll remind you when we're coming on. So do that too. And in the meantime, check in with draglist.com daily to see what's new. Big cool stuff just put up yesterday was a photo review from the Norwalk, Ohio Division 3 Cavalcade of Stars, where, you know, and Norwalk made, you know, they took a divisional race and they made the Nitro and alky burning dragsters and funny cars and top sportsman cars and top dragsters. I mean, when you think about it, when I was a kid, those cars were way faster than any top fueler ever was, right? And the alky funny cars were there as well. They're running 550s, they're running 520s. They're just, you know, there's so much depth in drag racing. And I really like how Norwalk elevates their sportsmen. Come on, they're not really sport. I mean, to me, Alky dragsters, Alky funny cars, those are not sportsmen. Even top sportsman cars are freaking pro mods. Top dragsters are freaking, you know, just the slightly slower top alcohol cars in a lot of ways. I mean, I think, you know, I think NHRA should really promote their divisionals more. They should not call them sportsmen. They should call them, I don't know, semi-pro or something. But we'll solve that another time. But I mean, great job for Norwalk for doing that. I know the Baders have done that for a long time. Thank you to our buddy Ohio David Oakes for taking all the great shots and for putting them up here as a photo review. You should go to Draglist and just type photo review in the search, and you'll see just tons and tons of great photos. Of course, we pop them up every now and then on the Facebook page anyway. All right, enough promo and for Draglist. I do want to say have a fantastic week. Try to stay cool out there. Guys on the East Coast, we are sweltering. Haven't had a hot one like this in a long time. And John's like, dude, that was like last Tuesday. What are you talking? So have a fantastic week. We'll see you on June 30th, a reigning Pro Stock Bike World Champion, Gage Herrera. Until then, let me click the little magic button here tonight. And just have an awesome week, guys. We love you. See